show was made possible by Rewards Affiliates and with the support of the Rocket Play partners.
Hello, guys and gals. Thanks so much for taking a few moments out of your busy week to help support this program. As usual, we have a lot to discuss. And as usual, we have news from the United Kingdom, where the dust is beginning to settle from the UK elections. So it must be time to get back to politics as usual. This week, that means applying pressure to the newly elected Labour Party Prime Minister, who's facing calls to implement a £100 million levy on our industry in order to fund gambling research and education, along with treatment for the addiction we apparently cause. Now, we could juxtaposition how this business is treated in comparison to alcohol, tobacco, and others, but pointing out any hypocrisy would only serve to piss us off. After all, we already know that politicians could care a crap less about our feelings now that the voting is over. Instead, politicians are moving on to more pressing issues like keeping up appearances and squeezing as much money out of us as possible, which brings us right back around to this, the £100 million annual levy, originally put forth by the Conservatives, by the way. The real kick in the pants here is that gambling companies like Bet365 and others just gave over £122 million to GambleAware for, anyone want to give it a shot? Gambling research and education and the treatment of addiction. This, according to our friends at the Betting and Gaming Council. Now, there's an old saying that I have found to be quite true over the years, and that is, today's act of kindness can become tomorrow's obligation. And in this case, the £122 million took nearly 4 years to collect. And the thanks they get? The government's outstretched hand. The politicians asking for more. They want another £100 million every year. And if this legislation gets any kind of traction, that's what it's going to be. Welcome back. Strolling into the second half of our program, we have more encouraging news out of the Netherlands this week. That's sarcasm. But first, we just published a brand new video where we interview Dennis Algreen, the marketing director for SBC Events, about their upcoming summit in Lisbon this September, running from the 24th through the 26th, with 600 exhibitors and 25,000 delegates in attendance, plus affiliate leaders will have their own dedicated space. You can watch this video interview on the APCW website and YouTube channel or in the forums at GPWA. Plus, you could always just visit sbcevents.com. Also, we have a brand new sponsor to tell you about, the Campion Affiliates, with no activity quotas and no negative carryover, plus an effective revenue share up to 50%. And if you act now, within the first 3 months, you can enjoy an effective revenue share of up to 60%. Want more information? Just check out their review page on the APCW or the GPWA. Of course, you could visit them too at campionaffiliates.com. Lastly, the Dutch Gambling Authority. They are the gift that just keeps on giving. Now they're giving us the duty of care online department to, help players be more safe and to enhance the supervision of online operators. Yeah. Well, gee, that doesn't sound ominous at all. To be fair, this doesn't seem to be so bad on the surface, as one of the primary reasons for this department will be to help operators interpret the rules, which may lead to fewer fines and fewer issues. And anyone who's worked on compliance knows very well how challenging that can be. However, there's always a however. However, the department will also investigate potential indicators of gambling addiction. Listen to that again. They're going to be investigating potential indicators of gambling addiction, including large player losses. Well, what could possibly go wrong with that? I mean, surely there's no room for abuse with that system. Mark my words, players who bet big and lose are going to then turn around and claim that it's not their fault. It was the operator's fault because they just couldn't help themselves. Plus, crap like this makes it harder to help identify the players who actually have a problem and actually need help. Well, like I've said before, it's their market to destroy, so let them, because they're not going to listen to us. I'm going to come back next week, God willing, and if you're interested in this week's berry identification in the Pacific Northwest, stay tuned. Hello, folks. Today's berries of the Pacific Northwest include the trailing blackberry. They are very small, not to be confused with normal berries. They're tiny compared to the blackberries that will come in just a couple of weeks. But nonetheless, they are quite tasty. Down in Texas, we call them dewberries because they grow right along the ground, thus the name trailing blackberry. And because they're so small and because the thorns are so damn sharp, you got to pick a crap ton of them to do anything with them, and they just don't grow in abundance. They are a special treat though, and they come in red, then turn this deep purpley black, and when they're ready, they are sweeter usually than normal blackberries. Normal blackberries can be kind of tart, but these, very, very sweet, but crunchy with a lot of seeds. So yeah, look them up. Trailing blackberries. They're good.